She's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.
Good.
Let's play the little song.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on?
You're on.
Okay. Hey, everybody. This is Jeanne Robertson, and this is unusual this weekend. And through the help of many friends, we're going to have a great show. I am in Sumter, South Carolina. I am on a porch outdoors. So you will hear cars going by. You will hear trucks going by. Everything okay? Okay. The lady next door just stopped mowing her lawn. The man up there is raking leaves. That doesn't make any noise. And I am in a red glider on Missy Evans's porch in Sumter, and I have a show here tonight at 7:30, and I have a show tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and these would be in the Sumter Music Hall. They are only, COVID rules are strictly enforced. 250 people can come in their much bigger theater. And yes, as of yesterday, there were a few tickets left on Sunday afternoon, but I think tonight's about gone. So we appreciate everybody who's coming because we're going to have a good time. I brought the yellow smiley bucket. I've got a show and tell here, and I have a special guest that I'm going to bring on in just a few minutes. Patrick Henry is gone away with his wife Leslie and other people for somebody's 50th wedding anniversary. I don't know many 50-year-olds, so no, I do. And they're having a ball, but he's been on the phone with us also. Missy, you've got everything under control.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I am not Patrick Henry, but who needs
No, who needs it? We got it all figured out right here. And then
Girl power.
Girl power. And Ann Walker is here, and my Facebook buddy's here. Met Ann's brother, Al Walker, I guess in July. Al is, if you have seen one of my stories called the 8-Day Rafting Trip, Al Walker is the person who put together the 8-Day Rafting Trip. So if you have a question, is this correct? If somebody has a question, you send in a lot of questions because I've got my smiley bucket and we'll be asking those. And I've brought both of the things down here with all of your names to give away prizes, and our special guest has prizes too. So we hope to have sort of the same show, and if people come by blowing horns or doing mufflers or whatever, hey, it's outdoors and in Sumter, South Carolina today. It feels like fall, but it's clear, it's not raining, and we're all going to have a good time. We're going to start this show off by giving away a copy of my new book, and the new book is titled, and let me make sure y'all don't think I'm cheating. Here's the book right down here. So I'm going to give them Don't Bungee Jump Naked and Other Important Stuff. And here's the winner of that book, and it is Christina Bingham Green. I'm always curious about what happens after some of your stories, especially when Left Brain is out in the ballroom. What happened to him? Did you let him back into the restroom and so forth? Oh, I love to talk about my stories because they are true, and Left Brain is a good sport. But Christina Bingham Green, you have won your choice of a copy of my book or my DVD or CD, or Patrick always throws one in the mix, and our guest today is going to be giving them out too. So we started the show off. Christina, there she goes, blowing away. I'm going to put, wait a minute, I'll put the book on top of those. There's quite a breeze. Don't you like this red glider? I brought my red top to wear today, but I figured I would disappear, so I switched to the sweater I came over here wearing. Now, I'm going to do a little show and tell because people have asked me. They are more than 6 feet over there. My special guest is going to be over here. We are all doing what the COVID rules. We just wore masks until the show started. I have 3 masks with me. One of them has Elon's colors, Elon University, because we have that, and a big E on it with their logo. See, that one works. Then one of them is the Auburn one, and it has toilet paper. Roll a picture of toilet papers on the front because when we win at Auburn, we roll Toomer's Corner with toilet paper. And this one was a hit last night. I have Ann Walker and Missy Evans. Y'all can back me up. That little child in the restaurant.
Oh, so
Okay,
cute.
so then I put this one on, and oh, that little boy never stopped staring. So that leads me to my final little thing here before we get really started, and that is last week when the radio guys came down from Gloucester, Virginia, we had, of course, Neil Steele, the host of the morning show, and then two of his cast of characters. He has a huge cast of characters, and one of them was named Ralph, and one was Ted on the road. We went to Zach's Hot Dogs in Burlington right after the show, and it was packed as much as it could be packed because they had to socially distance. And Ralph, if you remember, has a white beard, and he has a rotund middle, I think I would say. And he decided, since it was Tony, my assistant's birthday, he would take it upon himself to stand up in this restaurant, get everybody's attention, and get everybody to sing happy birthday to Tony, which he did on his own. It was hilarious. Tony almost died. But when he stood up, two little girls way over at the next table thought that he was Santa Claus. And they started staring at him and would not take their eyes off of him. And almost to the point where people quit eating in the restaurant. Then finally, Ralph said to their daddy, "Is it okay if I pick them up or they come over here?" And their daddy said, "Sure." And he hovered over behind them. And as a matter of fact, I write a monthly column for Southeast Gazette. It's a big publication in our area of North Carolina. And that was my column that I turned in for Christmas, because that was the awe of a child at Christmas. And as they left Zach's Hot Dogs, these two little girls were doing their hands like this to wave goodbye, and they never took their eyes off. So last night I wore this one, and a child was mesmerized too, but it was much more effective when last week when Ralph did it in Zach's. So I think I've caught you up on everything but one, and that is that Debbie Childers was to be with me tonight in here in Sumter at the show, and tomorrow afternoon. And the reason she was going to come and do about 10 or 15 minutes was and we thought that might help that. You know, y'all thought she was so funny when she came, and she is a funny person. She's hilarious. But Wednesday night, Debbie was not feeling well, and she has posted this. She has COVID, and she has gotten complications, and she is in the hospital. So this is not a religious show, but if you want to say a prayer for Debbie and Tim and their family, they're going through a lot. And if you follow Debbie on her Facebook page, I know a lot of you do, check in to someone in her family will be updating you. But quite a change here. So here's another question. Let me ask and see what you said here in the yellow bucket. Okay. I was so disappointed I didn't get to see you in Michigan this year. I hope to meet you soon. Darla L. Goodrich. Okay, Darla, your name now goes into the other bag. But let me point out to you, go to JeanneRobertson.com. All of the shows have been postponed more than once for some people. And I'm sorry I didn't get to see you in Michigan this year, but why don't we both aim for 2021? Got to be a better year, y'all. It just has to be a better year. Here's another question. Pick that one out. Open it up and see what y'all want to know. Charlotte Webb. I had said last week, that I need to fix food for this crew that was coming down from Extra 99.1 to do the show. And she says, no, don't feed them. They'll just keep coming back for more. That's kind of my philosophy. So I'll put that way down in that one. I'll pull out another one going through. And by the way, if you have any questions that you want to ask right now, can't they type it on Facebook?
They can.
And you're going to let me know over there?
I
Two
will
of
let you
y'all
know.
watching. Now that lady is, And she's an older woman, but she does this for her mother.
Yeah, that's her mother. She's the daughter.
Mother.
She lives right over there.
Okay. Okay. How great.
Her mother's
I should have
98.
had a daughter. Beaver doesn't come and do my yard.
Yeah, her mother's
98.
98. Lives right there by herself.
Okay, and y'all, I know you can't see it, but there's
Yeah,
ivy all over this porch too. And you bought this house in September?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh gosh, yes, ma'am. You don't have to say that. Rosalind,
Yes, I do. My
Forsythe.
mama's here.
Rosalind, let me explain to you. On the pop-up that I did Thursday night, holy cow. No, this is like my hometown. This is the South. This is great. We're no telling what's going to go by. But I'm at the Bluffton Book Festival on Tuesday night by Zoom. That's in between Savannah and Hilton Head. And I said, Thursday night, they don't really want me to be funny. This is not me being funny. They're going to talk about my book. And Rosalind wrote back and said, they don't want you to be funny. Rosalind Ford's like, see, Rosalind, I'm not supposed to entertain, but I probably will sneak in being funny because it's just what I do. There comes another. You took those wind chimes down. I saw you sneak up while I
They were asking.
They were asking.
They said it was distracting, so I took them down.
But what about the cars?
One person said they loved them. Another person said they were distracting. So
now we discussed this. We discussed it.
I'm
beforehand.
sorry.
And y'all said, do you want me to take the wind chimes down? And I said, no, it wouldn't bother us unless a hurricane came.
Yeah, well, apparently it did.
Oh, it did. Okay. Is there, could you get, when one of you go out in the street and stop the cars? Hey, I'm just so grateful that you would do this. Okay, Julie McCamey, congratulations on being asked to present your book. I enjoyed reading it. What story will you read? And Julie, I wrote you back Thursday night and said, which story do you think I should read? It needs to be a short one. And I don't think you've answered back. So if you're listening, let me know what story y'all think I read. I can read a story. And so the point would be, it would be short, probably a short story. All right, we'll do a couple of more, and then we've got a surprise. Okay, I mentioned Thursday night, this is from my pop-up on Thursday night, that I had gotten a haircut and nobody even mentioned it, and that I was growing a mullet. And Karen Arthur said, I think a mullet would look good. Grow a mullet. I did a mullet in the 70s. Who knows? You ever do a mullet over there?
No, they
No
never.
mullet. Okay. All right, let's see what else we've got. See the bucket right here. I'm scared of. This is wonderful. This is just, you sit out here every night?
Not every night, but often.
Hello, I'm from Texas. We're looking for COVID release. We're so tired of the virus and heartache. You always have a funny story. Well, you know, Elizabeth Lewis, what I think? Because this COVID stuff is serious. It's affected all of us. But we find what we're looking for. And if we can keep looking for the funny stuff that happens around us just every day, just the little stuff. And I have found material, a little bit of material. That's tricky though. But keep laughing, Elizabeth, out in Texas. Texas, by the way, is my #1 state to speak in. Okay. I think when we bring our guests on, I'm going to go out in the street and stop the cars. That would work.
We'll send Mama out there on her scooter.
Now, you can go out there on your scooter, Ann. Ann is well known by people. Y'all both went to the National Speakers Association a lot of times. You were a member for years. Okay, Laureen Hatter Cox. What was your very first humor gig? People call musician shows more gigs, but first humor gig location and a story for which you were paid. 1963, July, Fayetteville, North Carolina. I got paid $35. And I went over and made them laugh. So now we don't have Patrick, but when I mentioned to my friend Ann Walker over there, Al's sister, I said, you know, Patrick's not going to be there, and we always have some music. Ann, was this Friday or Thursday?
Friday. Thursday night.
Thursday night. I said, you know, we don't have any music, and I don't want to play the ukulele because I don't think I can anymore. And you said, well, I know a real pro. I said, what do you mean by that? I know a pro. And he doesn't live far from here. And you want me to call him? And I said, well, how much does it cost? And it turns out, big time. This is a big time guy. And you said you called him and he's working tonight somewhere. We'll have to ask him where.
Charleston.
Charleston. And he has a show on Monday nights called Music on Mondays. And it's an hour and a half, and he has this following.
Best music.
Best in the world. So, and I like him because he grew up on a small farm in South Carolina, my kind of people. And so would you bring in, I'm going to bring in.
You going to bring
I'm
in.
going to bring in, it sound like I'm at a pageant. And next, singing for her talent is Carol Brown. Carol, will you come on up here?
Yay,
Yeah.
Carol! Yay!
And the funniest thing is we've been sitting out here an hour just having fun and talking. And finally, about 10 minutes before the show, we say, what do we got to organize this thing. Should we take the wind chimes down? Where's the dog going? All of that. And you took off your mask and I said, he has a mustache because I hadn't seen the mustache the whole time. So you are from where?
I grew up near Camden, South Carolina, between Camden and Columbia.
The home of the steeplechase thing?
Yes, all the steeplechase races and the business and a lot of history, Revolutionary War history in Camden,
Okay.
South Carolina.
And I told you I'd spoken there one time. And I looked at your website and I'm blown away by what you've done. And I said, well, what do you call yourself? And you're a singer, songwriter, musician?
Yes.
That's amazing. So how many songs have you in Nashville and for your friends co-written or written all by yourself?
I would say about 100 or more.
Oh, that's amazing.
I write a lot. I have about 20 right now at home that's haven't seen the light of day. But I'm doing a new album right now in Charleston. So.
That's amazing. And so you also, in talking a while ago, he goes to Ireland every year?
Every year,
For
except
20
this year.
years, not COVID.
Yeah, not COVID year, but more than I first went in 1997, so I've been more than 20 times since 97.
And how many people do you take with you?
Usually about 25 or 30. We have been with as many as 45, but that was too many. So we try to keep it small, and we will keep it small next year. We're going in June.
Think it'll be COVID clear? Now
Yes.
No, wait. An airplane.
That's what he said.
A small airplane.
It's Amelia Earhart.
Hey,
Jeanne Earhart.
live from the Porch.
Well, you know, there is an Air Force base here.
That's right.
It's Amelia. She's dying to fly.
Is it Fort Shaw?
It's Shaw Air Force Base.
Shaw Air Force
No,
Base.
you're thinking of
But
Fort
that-
Sumter, which is in Charleston.
That was not an Air Force plane.
No, ma'am, that was
Amelia Earhart.
Yeah,
that was
could
Amelia.
have something fun
That's a
about
crop duster.
It's a crop duster. We're downtown.
But you're not far from the country.
That's right.
Well, I'm at home and see that house over there? Y'all can't, but everybody over the front door of this brick house is a archway that curves. And then over there is another one. That was just like my grandparents' house in Luverne, Alabama. I guess that era built the archway was go up. You getting any questions so far?
Not yet.
Because this house was built in 1928.
Okay. So, amazing. So we're gonna give away a book.
Sure.
Are you gonna draw it out of here because they keep up with which buckets I'm drawing out of? And if we drew out of the same bucket twice, they would say, whoop, whoop, whoop. So here you go, right there.
Yeah, actually, I did just get one
So
question.
should I do
Yeah, you can, yeah, just to make sure. And the winner of this book of mine is Susie Casper. Kasper. Susie Casper. And I'm gonna put this in so it won't blow away. So I want you to sing for us today and play your guitar. And Patrick's listening in. He's calling and was talking to you before on his lake trip that he was doing. So go ahead. And what song are you gonna sing?
I want to sing a song called Homegrown Love, which I wrote for my good wife. Now, Patrick's a hard one, you know. I've been listening to those back porch shows and singing his Texas music.
Well, Last week, he just jumped in with the guy that was there from the radio station, and they were perfect. So I'm not putting any pressure on you.
No pressure, no
Now we
pressure.
want to make sure everybody can hear. Okay.
I wrote
Let me
this
know.
song with my friend Mike Davis, who's from
Excuse me
Spartanburg.
1 minute. Do I hear a siren?
Yes,
Of course.
ma'am. Hospital's right down there too.
It's 2020. What are you on?
Go ahead.
I wrote this song with my friend Mike Davis. He's lives in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I wrote it for my wife of 45 years, and he wrote it for his wife, and near the twain, you know. But
Yeah.
it's called Homegrown Love. There is a love, special kind. So many are searching for, so few will ever find. It's warm and friendly, it's tried and true. It's a lifelong love made just for me and you. Homegrown love, the natural kind. It's sweet and it's pure like the fruit still on the vine. Homegrown love, it's a tie that binds. Homegrown love, like yours and mine. You can't find it on a bar stool, in a smoke-filled room, or in a one-night stand, or a midnight rendezvous. It takes a lot of sunshine, it takes a lot of rain. Once you've tasted homegrown love, your heart will never be the same. Homegrown love, the natural kind. It's sweet and it's pure, like the fruit still on the vine. Homegrown love, it's a tie that binds. Homegrown love, like yours and mine. How you and I, we like simple things, like a silver summer moon and a golden wedding ring, like the sound of laughter and a baby's smile. Know that we've got the kind of love that makes this life worthwhile. Homegrown love, the natural kind. It's sweet and it's pure, like the fruit still on the vine. Homegrown love, it's a tie that binds. Homegrown love, like yours and homegrown love, like yours and
Oh, wow. Way to go. I love that.
from a good wife.
Patrick would love to be here. He would love to be here. Now, you and your wife met in college.
We met in college in North Georgia, church school,
Yeah.
called Emmanuel College in Franklin County, North Georgia.
But you now are, after traveling all over, everywhere, you are back on your farm.
Back on the home farm. I graduated college in '77. First thing I did is went to New York to try to break in the music business. Had meetings with Jim Croce's producer and all that business. Of course, it didn't work out, but I had tapes I'd made in the bathroom because it sounded good in there. And I'll give you 3 guesses whether Jim Croce's producer liked my bathroom tapes. But anyway,
Yeah.
but then I went to Nashville, and we lived and worked in Nashville for a number of years, and then in radio business in Tennessee and in Georgia. And we landed in Charleston in 1981 and came home to the farm in '97. Built a house on the farm.
So you told me your front yard was acres.
Yeah.
Just,
It's a big field where I picked cotton as a boy.
oh gosh, amazing.
I'm across the field from my mother, across the field from my brother, my other sister, and my other sister.
Now, where are you playing tonight?
I'm actually going to a memorial gathering tonight in Charleston. I'm coming to your show at 3 o'clock.
Great.
I'll be
Thank
there.
you. And your wife too.
And she's coming tomorrow, yeah. But I have a friend of ours in Charleston that we just lost, and they're having a small gathering. And I knew him so many years that his widow asked me, would I say a few words, you know, so.
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell y'all, 2 Christmases ago, I spoke at a funeral for a friend, and that's the first time I'd ever done that. And I worked on it. We had 15 inches of snow, and so we had to wait. They
Wow.
postponed it another week. I worked on that few minutes of funeral speech. Wet, you just can't imagine. Well, you could.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if I'd ever do that again.
Yeah.
It was a success. I will tell you it was a success. But that's tough to speak at somebody's funeral when you.
Well, this will be a gathering at the home with only family and a few people.
Oh, they'll love you.
So, but I knew him for years. He was the executive sous chef at the Fontainebleau in Miami, and then worked at a restaurant where I played music, and then he bought the restaurant. And he's the one that brought me to Charleston when he opened a restaurant in Charleston. But I knew him for years before his wife did, before he married his wife. And they've been married for 20 plus years.
That's almost dangerous sometimes.
Oh, no. Well, we know some stories now.
I
But
know.
fortunately, he can't tell the stories now, but I can. So.
Okay. All right, you got any questions? This is the way we work.
I do. I got a few. So, Carol, some folks were asking how long you've been singing and playing.
Did you see that fancy finger work?
I know, forever.
I know.
Well, I grew up in church playing. My mother is still with us, and she taught me to play guitar, and she was a pianist in our church, home church. So I've been singing since I was too short to see over. I was too short to see over the front pew, so they stood me on the rail. But now I started singing gigs in 1974.
Wow.
Croce had died in 73, and I started playing gigs in 74, and I went to New York in 77. So.
Well, I'm a lot older than you are. I'm 77. Speaking
I
of
don't-
77, oh no.
I don't believe it.
I know, of course not. But we had on this show, do y'all remember LaDonna Gatlin when she came this summer?
Yeah.
You know her from the National Speakers Association. And she's the Gatlin brothers' sister.
Oh, yeah.
And she brought pictures that we put up of the mother was on piano, and the Gatlin brothers, the youngest one, was 3 years old.
Right.
And they won the talent contest. And he was standing on a table.
Right.
They were all three up on a table like
Right.
that. As a matter of fact, LaDonna lost her daddy last week. Did you know that, Ann? LaDonna,
No.
yeah, she lost her daddy last week.
No, I didn't think.
So all the Gatlin brothers lost theirs. But what's another question you got over there? So Jim and Eddie, as a child, so your mother's still living. I interrupted you. I asked you a question and interrupted you. And she's 98?
She's 88.
88.
But she still lives on her own and all of that, and still plays the piano some. And we sit in the yard and talk and sing a song here and there. But she's got kids and grandkids. And
Does she know you play in bars?
don't tell her.
Okay. Don't tell her. Because you do a lot. I mean, you got to do all this.
She's not on the Facebook. We're safe. We're safe.
Okay. But this is like Americana to me. A small farm in South Carolina. I grew up in a small town in North Carolina.
But that's the way it was in church too. Is singing and all of that was very. There was a lot of singing, but it was also very casual. And so, our 5 of us little kids would all come up like little step stair children and sing in church. Mother played the piano, we all sang.
All right. Your 4 brothers and sisters, did any of them take music for their career?
My sister was a music major in college, but she's now a guidance counselor. My oldest sister is a retired tenured professor from the University of Florida. And my 2 brothers live there in the area, Columbia, and one across the field from me. But they all were musical, but none of them followed music as a career. My son is a marching band director in Lexington County, South Carolina. He's a music major. He's a legit musician.
You studied it, you just picked around.
That's right.
Well, wait, you got to draw a question. This is what they get. They send in the questions and we try to answer them. So
All right, one more.
Yeah, no, we'll see what you get. This is not for the prize. This is for, oh, you got 2 questions.
I got 2.
Well, I'm gonna throw, I put
I
this
should
one in my
have
lap.
covered my eyes.
I know. All right, here's the question. It may be for me, it may be for you. All right, Melinda D. Hammer. Okay, this is for my husband, Jerry, whom we all call Left Brain. You've seen some of the stories, maybe. And as I understand he's not doing well. God's comfort and mercy. He is not doing well. but he's doing as well as can be expected, and we're just such private people. I'll just say we are handling and we are dealing, and we'll let you know if we get some improvement or whatever we come up against. Y'all are both healthy. You're very lucky. Be very happy. She's gonna go in to the, maybe she'll get drawn. And this is the other question. Lisa Henderson. I just received my book that I won last week. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. People have always said to speakers, all you have to do is just take your speech and then just have somebody type it and you've got a book. No, that is not right. That's not right at all. I wrote a song. I wrote songs. You said you were a songwriter.
I do.
And I played the ukulele. And I went to the Miss America pageant. That's the way we say it in North Carolina, Miss America pageant.
I know about that.
And I sang my heart out, and they listed it as comedy, and I wasn't being funny.
There you go. There you go.
It's terrible. But I wanted to go so badly, and they said, you're down the talent.
But Jeannie, tell me what you want to do with your talent.
I wanted to shoot hook shots.
I don't know why.
I begged to shoot hook shots, and my father said, you let us bring a portable basketball goal to New Jersey, in our truck. We will bring it, and we will put it out on stage with sandbags. We got something we can put out. And you let Jeannie come out and shoot hook shots for 3 minutes. At that time, now they have 20 seconds, but then you have to do 3 minutes worth of talent. And she can hook left-handed and she can hook right-handed. And if she names them all, you better name her Miss America. And they told us, you're from the South in a small town. They told us shooting hook shots was not talent.
That was not talent, huh?
That I did not know how long it took a young woman to perfect singing, dancing, on her toes, these
Right.
kind of things. Which let us know that somebody at the Miss America pageant doesn't know how long it takes to perfect a good hook shot. But
That's
now,
exactly right.
but I've been vindicated. I judged up there 3 times. You know, you write a book, we'll have you come up. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know, just a few years ago, and it was a pitiful book. But I went up there and judged. And when you're older, you understand these things, all these things. And I realized they were afraid I would win. You set me up when you asked me. You set me up for one of my old stories. Thanks a lot, Ann. I appreciate it. The headline read, Hooker wins. Miss America. Your mother wouldn't have let me in the house.
No.
Jeannie, I got a few people asking what your song was about.
Oh, it was just pitiful. It was just pitiful. So I wrote a song called Shafted. And it's shafted. And at when we were in school, if somebody shafted you, they dropped you. You were going with them and they just shafted you. It was a common word at Auburn. And I entered the Miss Graham pageant and I sang it and I won. And then a woman in our town, a minister, came to Mother and said that her husband had been in the Navy and that shafted did not mean getting dropped in the Navy, and that I was just no way I could. You cannot sing that. Cora, my mother's name was Cora. You cannot let her sing this song. I had a hot flash in the auditorium that night when I heard the misuse of the word. But I had sung that song all over the Auburn campus, and nobody thought anything about it. They hadn't been in the Navy.
That's right.
They were 18 and 19 years old, and people were dropping people, and
Just like shag in the United States versus in other places.
That's right. At the beach, that is called, no, that's dancing.
I know.
But, so Mother got very upset.
Oh, yeah.
And so wrote a song called The Great Snowman, dedicated to conceited men, and it was hilarious. So I won Miss North Carolina. At the Graham pageant, there were only 6 of us. And I won because the judges had not been in the Navy. And so, and I mean, Mother was horrified, just horrified. So I wrote the song called The Great Snowman. And Bob Waddell out of Greensboro judged me in the Graham pageant. And he said, I will help her with her talent. So it was hilarious, and I won. And then the judges said, if you're going to go to the Miss America pageant, you really need to just sing a torch song. Well, I said, I can't sing. I can't do that. So I wrote another song called The Old Easy Chair. And that's what I sang in Miss America. If I had to do over, I would do the comedy. Do the song that brung you was the first thing. And I did not get into
Or the hook shots.
Or the hook shots. I was just, obviously, I did the best I could. The whole state of North Carolina was watching. They said, what happened to the funny song? I don't know. It didn't work. So, what, is that the question that came?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
got another one?
Oh, I got a few.
All right, let's have it.
So Carol, somebody asked what your website was. I think it's Carol Brown Music.
CarolBrownMusic.com. It's Carol with 2 R's and 2 L's.
So you're like I do. I was going to say that. CarrollL.
You have to spell it, yeah.
And I have to say, Jeannie, there's no I.
Right.
But people still write me all the time, Jeannie, so
Right.
that's okay.
And then somebody,
Gotta go. See,
.com.
you said to me, I have a friend who can play and sing, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
you were thinking it, weren't you?
You know, she said he's from South Carolina and he's really good, and I'm thinking, oh no, who is this? And so I went to your website and I said, oh my gosh, what this is.
I only bring the
famous.
best to the dance.
Okay, okay, you did. And you have a, see, there's that airplane again. Can y'all hear it?
It's a round trip.
There it is to the
They
tree.
found Amelia. She's coming back.
If that's our Air Force, we're in trouble.
Yeah, that's not your Air Force. You will know if it's your
That's the
Air
Irish.
Force.
Really a
Irish
crop
Air Force.
duster.
It's really a crop duster, yes, ma'am.
So he's going back for more dust.
He's going back for more dust.
Okay, okay.
For the crops.
Now this is funny too, because then you said that he wrote a song, because you've got all these things right here that you say, your mother, you didn't want your mother to hear all these. And then, but you brought this one, Carroll, Homegrown Love, and said that you cut this one for your mother to know.
Yes.
She doesn't know about all these.
She doesn't need to know. No.
Okay. Okay.
There's no value.
So then you said he sent you 2 songs, Homegrown Love and Carolina Moon.
Carolina
Well,
Moon is
excuse
good.
me, but Carolina Moon, I said, well, Carolina Moon, he didn't write Carolina Moon. Carolina Moon keeps shining. And you can see why I didn't win. So she, no, it's a different Carolina Moon.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, would you sing that for it? See, then I
I would.
thought, let me just tell y'all, let me explain to you. We don't know much about these people down here in South Carolina. I'm from North Carolina, and when you say Carolina Moon, I'm thinking our moon.
It's our moon.
And then it just dawned on me when we were discussing this last night, it's the same moon.
It's the same moon.
But the song Carolina Moon was written for North Carolina, wasn't it?
No.
I am not saying.
Who wrote
And I
it?
don't know. I don't
Who wrote it?
know who wrote the original. No.
Okay.
And the song that I'm going to do was written by a guy from North Carolina and me, except he lives in Auburn, Alabama.
You're kidding.
And the song started out as Alabama Moon, and he was pitching it to the group called Alabama. But I wanted to do it as Carolina Moon because we're both from Carolina, he and I. And so I recut it as Carolina Moon. So it's all the more confusing than you thought.
It is. But if he's living in Auburn, Alabama, well, if he's living in Auburn, he probably has a face mask with toilet paper on it. Because that's what we do. We roll toilet paper, shouldn't we, Win?
That's exactly right. But you know, the other thing is his name is Mike Hooks. He's from Whiteville, North Carolina, Chadron, Whiteville. But his band is a beach music band called the Reverend Bubba Deliverance and the Cornhole Prophets. If you ever want to listen to beach music, you'll see him at the top of the charts on Billboard as the Reverend Bubba Deliverance. That's all I'm going to say about it.
All right, hold up a minute. There's another thing y'all need to know. Shag dancing in North Carolina and South Carolina beaches is what we do. That's what everybody does.
Right.
But and they slide their feet along because you didn't want to kick up the sand at the beach. That's what I've always heard.
That's right.
So you look like you're barely moving your feet sometimes. And shag contests everywhere, but it is not known in other areas of the state. My Texas friends do the 2-step,
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they go
In college.
and they go in a circle. But shagging here
It's big.
All right, I'm sorry
It
I
is.
interrupted you.
You're right about
Sing
shagging.
Carolina Moon. Sing
it's-
North Carolina Moon. In Sumter, South
In
Carolina.
Sumter, South Carolina. Well, my cook's in Alabama. I reminisce about the girl I miss. I left her home. Now she's all alone. I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. Stars in the sky accentuate her eyes on soft summer nights. Chasing fireflies, I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. I've been on my own too doggone long to share that moon with you. Where's that little thing?
I know, right?
Sweet southern air blowing through her hair, homemade ice cream, the front porch rocking chair. I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. Magnolia night, gentle willow weeping, one stolen kiss. While your dad is sleeping, I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. I'll see you soon. I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. Beneath the Carolina moon.
Yay.
All right.
Yay.
The South Carolina moon.
You know, and by the way, there is a moon on our flag, by the way. So it is our moon,
Well, yeah, I'm sure y'all took it from us.
as one of your Facebook people
Oh,
noted.
no.
There is a half moon on the, a
There's a
crescent
half-
moon on our
Crescent.
flag.
You know, when you go to give a speech or do a show, you try to do stories from the area. I have two good South Carolina stories, and one of them is Bob Sharp from Aiken, South Carolina. That's a great story, and I'll tell that tonight. And then there's another one. What was it? I don't have to think of it. I got it written down in the hotel. But you try to pull out the story or the song. So those two songs are on this. Did you
Yes.
bring this to me?
That is,
Or can we give it away as a
you,
gift?
you can give that one away, or you can keep that
Okay.
one, or you can give away any
All
of
the
these others.
dirty ones?
All the, yeah, all the
No.
And Carol, I know Patrick is watching, and we've got a few people that have said they would love to hear you and Patrick
Oh,
together.
gosh.
Y'all would be fantastic.
Well, Burlington's not that far.
It's
you know.
not
We can
that
do
far. The,
How far is it?
Last
Hour
week,
and a
the
half.
guy that was with the radio that he brought down, they played the circle.
Will the circle be unbroken?
Oh, will the circle be unbroken, yeah.
And then Patrick all of a sudden started organizing, and they had never even, they didn't even practice. They just walked
Yeah.
up and started. Then Patrick said, but it's not a new song. Which is very true. So how much time do we have to give away prizes?
You got about 20 minutes?
Okay, all right, so you got,
Well, this is the country one, and this is the Carolina one, and this is the Irish one.
okay, so I think, well, let's draw them, and these are for yours, and then we're gonna give away some more of mine, and Patrick, you can always choose two. Patrick has one. This ought to make him wanna get on the ball, because he writes parodies.
Yep.
And plays them for the client, if he does. So this is the one, the Irish one. Okay, let's get a winner. Now we have to, if you win, your name is pulled out in one of my prizes. You have to write Tony at JeanneRobertson.com. Tony with an I, TONI at Jeanne, no I, Robertson.com, and give her your address to know where to send these. And these are not really dirty tapes. They're just
No.
No, I know you better. I just met you yesterday or this morning. Maria Peterson Smith, who says, I'm here live. Maria Peterson Smith, let Tony know, and you're going to get this one. These are Irish tunes.
That one is, I wrote one of I wrote one of them, but it's kind of singer-songwriter stuff out of Ireland.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that one is gone. All right, draw another one. Jeannie, I reached, oh, no, oh, excuse me, I gotta reach in here and get people upset. Okay, there. And this person wins this one, and it is,
Carolina.
oh, are these,
Songs about the low country of South Carolina.
oh, there are people all over South Carolina that would love to have that. I bet people in South Carolina and other, I'm the one who didn't know about you until I thought she was bringing in a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old, and I didn't know who. Oh, listen, you're not going to believe it. The winner is Beth Jackson from Aiken, South Carolina.
Oh.
Beth Jackson, you getting this one? I'll put this tail on the
Yeah,
here.
I'll hold over those so they
Okay.
don't blow away.
Okay.
Oh, we
That
need to
one
know
goes
which is which, don't we? Yeah.
Well, she's gonna get that one
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's South. And this one is country favorites.
It's country favorites and myself and other people singing on there. So
Okay,
there's some nice novelty songs on there. One called Linda from North Carolina.
from North Carolina.
A guy named Larry Reynolds wrote it.
Okay, Reynolds.
I
That's
can
a
sing
big
that
name
before
in
you.
North Carolina. Okay, here's the winner of this one from North Carolina, and that is Paula Tunstall Ellis. Paula, you didn't tell us where you're from, but you did say he's the troll. And that was one thing I was going to mention at the beginning. There's a guy that's trolling every week. And if somebody tells you, I love the sound of your voice, but I'm not able to friend you, please friend me, don't do that. And he changes names every week. And Patrick and I try to delete it, and we turn them in and try to block them every time. So I guess that's it. When they tell you you're sexiest thing they've ever seen and gorgeous, don't believe it. I'm telling you, they told me that.
Why not?
Well, I hear that often.
Paula Tunstall, I know. Paula Tunstall Ellis, you have won the country tonight. Gosh, you've been, is the word prolific? You've turned out stuff here.
I'm an old guy.
Oh, I
I've been doing it a long time.
And I'm older than he is.
I have a Christmas one too if you want to give it away.
You have a Christmas? Yes.
This one's with Irish singer Harry O'Donoghue, the two of us.
Oh, and these are Christmas.
Christmas songs, yes.
Oh, I know
So-
all these songs. I know all these songs. Go Tell It On the Man Who Ran the Hen. Frosty the Snowman. Which bag did I draw out? I'll draw out of here. Okay, this one is going to go to Victoria Southern. What was Glenna's most exciting moment on the trip? This came back from when Glenna, see, once you ever send a question, your name goes in the bag for eternity. So we have, they're just names all over. So that was when Glenna Salisbury from Phoenix
Yeah.
was in town. And the most memorable, we went on an 8-day rafting trip. You ever done that?
Oh, no.
Well, you can die.
Oh, no, I'm familiar. My
And-
co-writer is from upstate, and he goes rafting 3-4 times a week. And yes, you
No,
can
you
die.
get thrown out on the rocks. Now, you're 67?
66, yeah.
Okay, well, we went when Lethbridge was 69, and we had to hurry because they said, go before you're 70. So we had to really hurry, and he remembered saying, I should have been born a year earlier because that goes there. All right, let's draw another question. This is, for y'all who don't know it, we're sitting out here, pardon?
Can I tell y'all something?
What?
So I got a really good, Lorene Cox. She said, can y'all feel the extra energy on that porch this morning? She said, I do from my home. It must be the combination of your being on stage again and changing your environment today, as well as the energy of Carol Brown as well.
Oh my gosh.
That's my agent.
No, I'll tell you what it is. My back porch is glassed in. And
Oh,
it's heat in the, I can, and air in the summer. But here, the cars going by, the people, you have a sidewalk, a little sidewalk, and people keep walking by. I thought maybe the word had spread.
There's a liveliness to it.
There's a lot.
Somebody just asked if there was a lawn on Mrs. ceiling.
please let them know it's fig vine. If I had a lawn on my ceiling.
And
It's fig vine.
And I said to
It's
you,
beautiful.
because I came over here last night, because we said you have two porches,
I do.
front porch or back porch, and a great dog before
She
we go.
is.
Yeah,
I'll let her out.
Okay. And so which porch do we want to be on? And we chose the front porch because I said, the neighbors are going by. This is just amazing. This is wonderful. In ours, the neighbors are peeping through the windows. And my bestest friend, Norma Rose, if we didn't ask her to come that Sunday, she taps on that window and smiles. No, she
But you know, in the South, we spent all of our time on the porch because it was too hot to sit in the house. And that's where we played music and told stories. And
That's right.
my dad would say, it was a dirt road then, and there would be a car coming up the road. Daddy would say, get a toothpick and get on the porch. I see company coming.
Okay. Well, have you heard of a comedian named James Gregory?
Oh, yeah. He's one of my
James
favorites,
Gregory's
too.
been, y'all, if you hadn't heard of Gregory.
He's brilliant.
So one time we were in Columbia, South Carolina, my group of professionals, your brother, Patrick's daddy, myself, I mean, there's 6 or 7. And we worked for 2 days on new material. That's what we would do, is get together and work. And then we were so tired and we need to get out of the house. And we picked up the Columbia, South Carolina newspaper, and it says, well, look at this. James Gregory is performing tonight, and it says here he's the world's funniest man. That's what his tag is.
handle.
I'm the world's funniest man. And we had not heard of him. And we said, let's go down and hear what the world's funniest man sounds like. And we called, we could not get tickets.
Right.
And we called again and stood in the back. And when it was over, we were all lined up to buy James Gregory tapes. He said, that's the funniest man I've ever heard. And he said he does a routine on, I'm not going to tell his stories, of course, but he does a routine with What's Wrong with America. He's one of the few comedians that I heard who also has a point.
Yeah.
And he said, the deck, they put the deck in the backyard and took us off the front porch. Because when we were on the front porch, we knew, somebody go down and say, that boy's in trouble again. He's not supposed to be out here tonight. This kind of thing. You knew everybody. They'd wave and all of that kind of stuff. And so that was his whole,
That's exactly
his
right.
whole routine is a deck. Then he would use the next, a bad word, of such and such deck, where they put us on the back barbecuing, and we don't know our neighbors
You don't
anymore.
know what's going on in front of your house either.
That's right.
And that's why we on the front porch.
And we're on the front porch. And James Gregory is hilarious.
He is.
Oh, he's a funny man.
Oh, he's
He was
funny.
just here recently in
Yeah.
October. He was at Opera House.
I
in
saw
October.
that.
Somebody
Facebook.
told me that not only that, but they did the same thing they did with mine. They had 2 shows. They fit.
Right, yeah.
They,
Al McCree asked you to make sure you mention the Charleston show.
oh, okay. Well, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm in Charleston on December the 3rd, and they are only letting in that Charleston. I know you know about it. The Charleston Memorial Auditorium, I think.
Music Hall, Charleston Music Hall, isn't it?
Music
Is
hall.
it John Street downtown?
It seats about 1,200 or something like that.
That's where we have a Low Country Irish Festival every year. That's where we have the festival for the last 2 years. Where we're not doing it this year there because of the COVID. But but they're only letting 250 people or something there.
250 people buy tickets, and there's a link on my website that tells you where to go to buy your ticket. The ticket for a regular show, because I'll tell you why. I don't know about musicians, but the humorist has it when you like this bothered me at first because I don't hear anybody laughing.
Right.
See, you can't count on them over there.
Yeah, you can.
Tony's just sitting in the back going, wrap it up,
Now she's been with you longer.
She's been with me 42 years and run my office. So the 250 people will be COVID people. They have a time. They are you reserve your time at 7:15 to come in.
Right.
I mean, it's serious. And then, but it's $59.50. But people are complaining because. Are y'all listening?
I'm listening.
Because by the time Ticketmaster and those people add on, it is more than $59.50. But then there's a second ticket you can buy. You've seen pay-per-view boxing. Well, mine is going to be pay-per-view, $25, and you can have as many people in your house as you can safely sit and then it's good for 48 hours. So I'm going to do a live show. It's going to live stream all around the world. And so we got people in Scotland and places like that that have bought the tickets.
Right.
So Al McCree that posted that is the man who stands to profit if this goes over. So that's why I'm just listening to me. I know Al. He books my shows. And thank you, Al, because I was having so much fun, I totally forgot it.
Well, I'll say this too. The Charleston Music Hall is one of the most effectively and efficiently run venues that I've ever been around or worked with, and we've done numerous shows there. But if they're doing a live streaming in addition to it, then that might be something that we could end up doing our festival there anyway.
Well, and they're using a 3-camera shoot.
Yep.
And I get the footage, and it's just that everybody's going to win. And a lot of people who say, we can't ever see you. I live in such and such, and we can't ever. So here's a chance.
Well, that's why the back porch sessions work, because people who can't be at your live show can still tune in on Facebook. That's what my Monday night thing is. I have people that I haven't played in Macon, Georgia in 15 years, but I have making people tuning in on Monday nights. So.
Well, as people have been nice to come on mine too.
That's the new virtual reality.
It's different. But when they said, we want you to go ahead and live stream, and I said, oh, I have to have somebody in the audience. I have to have some people laughing.
Yeah.
Now, if these people laugh,
something's wrong with it.
We need laugh tracks.
But it's not new material because it's some new, because the audience has grown so much because of the Facebook Live.
Right.
All right, if it's just a few minutes to go,
We got 4 minutes.
I don't know whether we're going to answer one more question and then give prizes. That'll work. So you can play it out. Is that what you're? All right, this is a person with a question, and it is: Melinda Powers, has your luggage ever been lost while traveling? It has, but not many times, because I don't check any luggage anymore. And I take my luggage with me, but once in a while it did get lost. But just during the COVID, when you have nothing else to do, Tony comes in and hides my luggage from me, and I look for it. It just brings back memories of going places with no luggage. And I was 6'2", and I'm not anymore, but when you were 6'2", you don't just run down to the store and buy some more clothes. But here's the good thing about, I started in 63. You started 10 years later about. What we wore was real important. And now it just doesn't matter that much. If you come, Doc Blakely came to Raleigh to speak, and I picked him up, and he said, I checked my luggage and it didn't come. And I said, we'll have to go somewhere and buy something. He said, what's wrong with what I got on? And I'll just tell him, he's Texas, he had a tie, and I think it's that way now.
They wear blue jeans in church. What you gonna do?
That's right, blue jeans in church. But Melinda Powers, I just don't check check luggage anymore, Melinda. If I can help it. The other reason is, if you have to change planes fast and you check your luggage, they won't let you change planes, even though there's a seat on that plane.
That's great.
You are stuck.
Yeah.
So let's give away mine, and if they want a DVD, that's it. Here's one name. You have just won a prize, Carol Moody. You always look great in purple. It is a good color with your hair. So it's white. So Carol Moody, you let Tony know, Moody, that you have won a prize, and you can tell her whether you want a book of mine or you want a DVD, whatever you want. Let me do another one right here. You got a song you can play us out?
I'll play you out.
Is it a good one?
Oh, it's clean. It's clean.
It's clean. You got another one. Okay. No. Ann Walker.
What?
That's another Ann Walker. That's
No.
not me.
You said, hey, Jeanne, you watch every week, A-N-N-E.
Oh, gosh.
But you know
Throw
what?
another one.
No, I'm.
Yeah, tear it up.
Look here. This thing is packed.
Draw another one.
I already have your book.
You didn't even ask a good question.
I already have your book.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed
You
it.
didn't ask me. Good question.
All right,
I just
this
said
is
hey.
the winner. Can you believe that? Roxy Giddings. Giddens. Roxy, let Tony know. By the way, y'all, let me tell you something funny. On Thursday night, when I pop up and nobody knows when it's going to be, the first person that says, I'm here, or whatever it is, wins a book. And we've had some people get upset because that person rolls on off and then they see their name at the top and it doesn't. And this means wrap it up. Play us
Nothing
out.
could be finer than to be in
Okay.
Carolina in the morning.
North Carolina.
No one could be sweeter than the sweetie when I greet her at the dawning. In the morning glory, eyes around my door, whispering pretty stories. I long to hear once more. Strolling with my girlie when the dew is pearly early in the morning. You know all the words to that. Buttercup, buttercup, little buttercup and naughty.
This is the beginning.
If I had a lemon slap for all the day, I'd make a wish. Here's what I'd say: nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning.
Y'all next week, Joy Earl will be with us.
We did.
I can't no more. No. You were great.
Perfect, perfect.
Thank you so
Oh, that was
much.
really
I
good.
appreciate